Hello, tribe. So I wanted to offer you some support and resources and guidance in dealing with fear, specifically fear in the face of a pandemic. Because as you may be experiencing, there's a greater level of fear and it might be outside of your window and capability to deal. So I wanted to speak briefly. This is going to be a two-part video. So the first video is about what do I do when it's too much, when it's all consuming, when it's super overwhelming, when the normal, go-tos that I may have for dealing with fear and being with it are just, I can't even know. So the first video, this one, is specific to how do I calm down? How do I calm the system? And then the second video will go into more, okay, I've calmed down a little bit and now how do I actually get to the root and begin to heal that of the fear so that it's not so controlling in my life. So for this first one, I want to talk briefly about, we have a window of tolerance. So when fear is in this window, some of our rational mind is working. When it's so far out, rational mind is gone and we're just in crazy survival mode, and what can happen is we just shut down, we freeze, we really feel isolated and alone, and with everything that's happening in the world that can be amplified a lot right now. And so know that if you're experiencing that, completely normal and it's totally okay, and I got you. So some things to calm the system down. Because what's happening is the survival part, the amygdala, is going cray-cray and the prefrontal cortex is completely offline. And so you're cut off. You're cut off from your resources and from perspective and from compassion and from empathy and from creativity and all these things that we really need right now. So calming the system. Number one, the first way is breath. And I know that breath gets thrown around a lot and we take it for granted, but the power of the breath is everything. So some examples of some breath work. So just increasing the exhale. So inhale for 4, right? Count and then exhale for 8 or whatever it is. Just by increasing the amount that you are exhaling, the length of it, helps you switch from the sympathetic, cray-cray, fight, flight, freeze, into the parasympathetic, the rest and digest and befriend. So counting your breath, coming into your breath and doing a conscious effort and having your intention to increase the exhale. That's one type of breath. Another one is box breathing. So box breathing is what they use in the military. It's what they use in yoga. It's very powerful. So it's breathing for equal counts in, holding for an equal count, exhaling for an equal count, holding for an equal count. So if you inhale for 4, you hold for 4, you exhale for 4, you hold for 4. And then the third thing I'll offer is if everything is just too much, just counting your breath. Just 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, just so that you're aware that you're breathing. Okay? Second one is move your body. Okay, we see this in the natural life, in animals, and we're animals. So if you see a cat messing with a mouse and the mouse has to play dead, once the cat goes away, the mouse will literally shake the crap out of their body to let that go, get that energy out, and then move right back into life. So we as humans, we don't always do that, right? We hold on to things and we relive things, and it just consumes and consumes, and we get into obsessive thinking and lovely circles, and I'm sure that we're all familiar with those things. So moving your body, and it can be something as vigorous as shaking or jumping up and down, or it can be something more soft and tender like a slow walk or stretching, right? Anything to physically move the energy through your body can be very powerful. Dancing, that's my favorite way. The third thing is grounding. So simply put, grounding is feeling the gravity of the earth and coming into your senses. So looking at your feet and feeling your feet on the earth. If you're lucky to get outside, do that barefoot. The research behind grounding is extraordinary. Looking up at the sky, feeling that you're here now. What do you see? What do you smell? naming and describing what you see, you know, the pillow and the intricacies of the carpet and anything that brings you here and now. Because as you'll notice, oftentimes when we're super lost in fear, we're not really here. We're either stuck in something in the past or really worried and scared about the future or perpetuating some story, or we're not fully here. So one of the main ways to calm the system is to bring all of your parts back to here and now. And the way you do that is through your senses. Okay, so that's another powerful way. The next is to physically touch your body. There's so much power in physical touch, and you know, they show that you can really calm the system. Especially, I love this one. So this is the vagus nerve, controls a lot of stuff. So doing just some calming, soothing touches, just as you would a pet or a kid, rubbing a kid's back, right? Offering some tender touch. This can be used, you know, when you're in conversation with someone too. If you're having a difficult conversation, you notice yourself kind of losing it, you can just, you know, gently be stroking your hands and bring your attention there and your focus there rather than on all of the fear thoughts that are creating the biochemistry in your body. So it's just switching your attention and focus. And then the last thing I'll offer is, of course, another human. I mean, we're pack animals. We have the ability to calm each other down. It's, you know, the research out there on just holding someone's hand. It really calms our system down. And once again, it's going from feeling isolated and separate and alone, which is fear, right? We feel disconnected, to feeling like, we belong. Even if it's still in the pain, there's a spaciousness to it. There's a breath to it. I'm not alone in this. So having another human, and in times like these, if you're quarantined alone or if you're separate, even this digital medium, there can be some real comfort in just, you know, a FaceTime with a friend and allowing them to hold the space for you to express your fear. Because when we express our fear, when we express our sensations, when we express whatever is happening for us in that moment, it loses a little bit of its power. It makes it a little bit more workable. So being in that practice as well, reaching out. And I know it can feel super challenging when you're really locked in it to reach out, but it is one of the best ways to have that breath and that space so that the fear isn't so you, right? You're not so identified and wrapped up in it. It's just this feeling that you are experiencing. So that is what I have for you. And next video will be about, okay, I've calmed the system, or the fear is within that window. What do I do? How do I deal with that? How do I deepen into what I'm actually experiencing so I can get to the root of what the fear is and heal that? So that'll be in the second video of how to deal with fear in the pandemic. And I will see you there.